I found them! At long last, I found them!
They don't look like any Dragon Balls I've ever seen.
Oh, they don't, huh? Well, feast your eyes on this.
The star is black.
That's right, these are the Black Star Dragon Balls.
Hello and welcome back everyone to the channel. Today's video we're going to be diving into the world of Dragon Ball GT. Yes, I know, everyone's favorite Toei anime sequel to the hit Dragon Ball Z. We're going to be discussing one of its most significant plot holes. Yes, I said it, they're significant plot holes. The Black Star Dragon Balls. Join us today as I explore a new type of video format. Here I have 6 points that I will be covering over. 1. The background of the Black Star Dragon Balls. 2. The contradictions within the series that this new set of Dragon Balls creates. 3. The negative side effects that these balls have within them and why it's another inconsistency basically. Lack of an explanation and lore integration of the Black Star Dragon Balls. And I'm going to suggest alternative plot devices which could have been used to the same effect of getting Goku and this company to go into space and have a spacefaring Dragon Ball infused adventure. And then finally in 8 we will go over the conclusion where I will be concluding the video. So, join me as we explore these inconsistencies and contradictions surrounding this new set of mystical artifacts within Dragon Ball. And, well, let's get started. First, the background of the Black Star Dragon Balls. Well, let's look at what they are for those who are unfamiliar with this particular set of Dragon Balls. Well, these Dragon Balls were supposedly created by the nameless Namekian while he was on Earth before he split into Kami and Piccolo. They are said to have unrestrained wishing power, though they have a dire consequence that we're gonna get to that later in the video. This set was created as the technical first set of Dragon Balls on Earth, and, well, of course, they're not really ever mentioned until it's convenient in Dragon Ball GT, where they are introduced. And you may be wondering, well, how do these balls actually form if the nameless Namekian doesn't exist if Kami and Piccolo split? Well, it's simple. GT's logic, when Kami and Piccolo got back together, the balls came back to life. And that's where we're gonna bleed into point number 2. The contradiction that these Dragon Balls have within the series as a whole. Now, segment number 2, contradictions within the series. Our first contradiction simply lies within the fact that only Dragon Clan Namekians can make a set of Dragon Balls. This is established in Z. The nameless Namekian is never specified to be a Dragon Clansman or a Warrior Clansman type Namekian. Though, in the anime he's shown more akin to Piccolo's appearance and outfit and everything. This leads me to personally believe they were showing us that he may have been a warrior type Namekian prior to his split, being they can birth different types of Namekians when they choose to breed with themselves. Not to mention that Piccolo Jr. is the current host body of their assimilation, which would mean that if the nameless Namekian was a Dragon Clansman before his split, he currently is no longer a Dragon Clansman because he is currently occupying the physical state and being of Piccolo Jr., which would mean that any Dragon Balls he made would stay inert, as Dragon Balls require their creator to be a Dragon Clansman and alive. Otherwise, if this was not true, Kami's Dragon Balls would not have gone inert just because he fused with Piccolo Jr., because he's still technically alive within Piccolo Jr. He's just a part of him. With this logic, we have just broken logic, basically. Piccolo Jr. is obviously not a Dragon's Clansman. He would have mentioned this in the Cell Saga when they had to go and get Dende. He cannot make Dragon Balls. Even if he wanted to, even though he has Kami's memories and how to do it, he cannot make Dragon Balls himself. Now, the second contradiction lies in this fact that Kami Shinron was created using a statue handcrafted by Mr. Popo himself. We learned this in Dragon Ball, and were reminded this when Dende uses the exact same statue to create Earth's newest set of Dragon Balls using his dragon magic to reestablish them in the world. However, Ultimate Shinron, the dragon of the Black Star Dragon Balls, has a very similar appearance to the regular Shinron. Of course, he's red and he's evil looking, but this ignores the fact that Popo designed Shinron to look a certain way. This would also mean there would have to have been a dragon statue of Ultimate Shinron somewhere as well. Our third contradiction lies in the fact that the Black Star Dragon Balls could be located with the Dragon Radar, and in fact, they somehow become active once Piccolo fused with Kami. It leaves the fact that they are a giant plot hole. They were on the lookout. Dende, of course, wouldn't have known about them at the time. However, everyone with access to a Dragon Radar would have been picking up their signal. I mean, Bulma, it should have popped up because she had no idea there was other Dragon Balls. There was no one. They had, and even Piccolo was like, we have to get somebody who can make Dragon Balls. So, if they had access to a set that would have become active as soon as Kami and Piccolo fused, then why would they have went to get Dende when they could have used the Black Star Dragon Balls and just used them? You know, they could have dealt with the consequences later. The fourth point lies with the fact that Mr. Popo knows an awful lot about the Black Star Dragon Balls. Sure, you can say the nameless Namekian might have informed him of these powerful orbs that he created before he became Kami and Piccolo separately. Yet, there is this massive glaring issue that Piccolo Jr., who has King Piccolo's memories, and Kami has no memory of this. They have no memory of these Dragon Balls. Kami states that he made Earth's Dragon Balls to inspire hope to those who sought it, and King Piccolo has no knowledge of Dragon Balls at all, as he had to be informed by the Pilaf gang about the artifacts which can grant wishes, and he determined that they were basically, Divine Dragon made by Kami. Makes sense. However, if the nameless Namekian would have made Dragon Balls, then both King Piccolo and Kami would have knowledge of Dragon Balls prior to Kami's Dragon Balls. This they in fact do not, as King Piccolo / Piccolo Jr. has no inkling that these Dragon Balls even exist. Alright, now let's get into section 3, the negative side effects of this set of Dragon Balls. Of course, the biggest side effect of the Black Star Dragon Balls is that whatever planet you are on when you wish upon this set of Dragon Balls, it will be destroyed in 1 Earth year's time by the negative energy created by wishing upon this set of balls. This, however, can only be circumvented by scouring the entire universe of Dragon Ball in a year's time, bringing the balls back to the planet they were used on, and by Mr. Popo's admission in the original Japanese, placed in the exact same spot. Only then would the negative energy that would have ruptured the planet subside and, of course, not rupture the planet. Now, the sole existence of these Dragon Balls is an excuse. That is one of the other negative side effects. It's the side effect of bad writing. It's an excuse to get Goku, his grandchild Pan, and Trunks to go on a transverse the intergalaxies in an inter-universal adventure, where Goku is the powerhouse he once was in Dragon Ball, Trunks plays the role of Bulma, I guess, and Pan plays the role of, Oolong, maybe? Though it gives absolutely no reason why everyone on Earth would not have just used common sense and decided to use Dende's Dragon Balls to wish the Black Star Dragon Balls back to Earth, especially being they aren't affecting their power, it's not killing the dragon who is more powerful than Dende, the Dragon Balls are not sentient, therefore it's not forcibly affecting a sentient creature, it's affecting the object of the Dragon Balls. Or, we already know that the dragon can affect things across the universe. We see this in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, when you look at it, it just makes this GT series kind of pointless in the end, when the point of its most major arcs is part of this space adventure. It just shows you that when you apply any level of logic using prior established Dragon Ball information, it just boils down to GT had absolutely great ideas and horrible execution and writing. And that is the second biggest side effect of the Black Star Dragon Balls. Horrid writing. People who did not watch Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z's parts or even read it, and then they went to write a sequel. Either that or they completely forgot about these parts in the anime. So let's get into the lack of explanation, which is point number 5, and lore integration. The Black Star Balls are shoehorned into the Dragon Ball mythos with such a poor understanding of how the lore works, how Dragon Balls work, and the ignoring of the history of certain characters lack the knowledge to create a plot device which would have pushed Goku into a space age adventure that would have been both logical and just amazing. The nameless Namekian most likely again was incapable of making Dragon Balls anyway. And even if he was capable, his current form, again, is the Warrior Namekian Piccolo Jr., which cannot have Dragon Balls associated with them, as they are not a Dragon Clansman. From what we're told in Dragon Ball, the namesake objects have specific rules, which are seemingly just ignored in GT to ensure that they have a plot device that will push people into outer space. And point number 7, finally, as you may have been waiting for, Cross's alternative plot device suggestions, which would have enhanced GT, at least in my opinion. So here's a few things which I believe would have been way better than creating a special set of Dragon Balls that spread across the universe, however ignores established lore in the anime, because I know people are going to be like, well, GT's a sequel to the anime only. Well, guess what? This stuff is still in the anime. I assure you that it is. So, number 1, you could have had Goku and the gang be misled into a space adventure by aliens who are under Baby's control, coming to Earth, seeking Goku, saying, hey, we have this powerful threat. Why don't you come into space and, help us fight it, since you're the most powerful thing in the universe is what the word on the street is, basically. You can even establish it. Have Trunks willingly go because he wants to see the galaxy abroad and pilot the ship that he's providing. And let Pan come along, not because she was allowed to, but as simply a stowaway who seeks to prove herself to her grandfather as a competent fighter. 2. A strange being appears and selects Trunks, mistaking him as the future version of himself. Goku and Pan to partake in an intergalactic tournament, which is actually a front for getting Goku to handle his enemies for him. 3. Bulma requests that Goku Jr. try out her new spaceship to train and see how it works in space under even harsher conditions than what was presented in Dragon Ball Z with a gravity machine in his spaceship. Goku employs the company of Pan, who wishes to train Vegeta and Trunks and Goten. They all happily go for an all-expense-paid training vacation. When they enter space, a disturbance, an anomaly occurs, which opens up, sending them into the deeper parts of their universe, where they must now go planet to planet in hopes of journeying back home. And you could have included Baby's story. Maybe Baby finds out they're Saiyan's still alive, which reignites his passion to seek revenge. And of course, through the machine mutants, they could have went after Goku, chasing them all the way, creating problems, until finally when they get back home, Baby realizes and he gets there first, and then it leads into the Baby saga. And that's just a few alternative plot device suggestions I had. I could come up with more. And yes, number 1 and it is really based on the fact that Goku and Vegeta are misled in Dragon Ball Super to do the exact same similar situation, and it makes sense with their character. Strong opponent, might as well. Of course, you can include they're being bribed, so Chi-Chi wants that money. And finally, we're going to get into number 8, the conclusion of this video. I would really appreciate that if you've watched this video to this point, that you share your thoughts, your theories. You know what? Share your alternative plot device suggestions in the comments below, and I will read them, and I will give some kind of feedback to each one that I see, and I appreciate if you could just do that. I want to thank everyone here for watching this video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I am on my way to 500 subscribers. I am trying to push up there. It may take a while, I understand that, but with your support, I know I can get there. And don't forget to like the video in support of future Dragon Ball content. Now, as always, this is Cross, signing off. I'll see you in the next one.